are at the National Bobblehead Museum. We're in downtown Milwaukee, but I know we're in Milwaukee now. This is Phil Sklar, but you have Rockford ties. This didn't start in Milwaukee, this started in Rockford.
Yeah, it did. It started actually growing up in Rockford, collecting baseball cards, which my dad got me into. And I grew up in Rockford and spent the first 18 years of my life in Rockford until moving to Milwaukee to go to school here. The very first bobblehead in the collection is a Rockford Riverhawks bobblehead of Rocco the mascot. So yeah, it dates, really started in Rockford and got our roots in Rockford, me and the other co-founder Brad. And, Milwaukee has now become really the bobblehead capital of the world.
Well, it definitely is. After walking through here, this is so much fun. He had to come get me to start this because I was just lost in the back looking at everything. Bobbleheads has been around a long time. You can learn all the history right on your website, which is bobbleheadhall.com, because I got lost in a nice little loop on your website. What is your oldest bobblehead?
Yeah, so we have a lot of bobbleheads that date back into the 60s and then a few that date back right around the turn of the century. We have a history timeline here at the museum, which is similar to what's on the website, but has some artifacts and bobbleheads, and they actually date back to the late 1700s. So date back a lot farther than most people would expect.
So you can come here downtown Milwaukee. We just celebrated National Bobblehead Day, so perfect time to make a plan to come visit. Do you have a personal favorite?
Yeah, so there's a couple personal favorites, but the first one that we produced was of a friend of ours that we met in Milwaukee. He's a manager for the sports teams at the school that we went to, University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and also a Special Olympian, and we made a bobblehead to honor him and had a really good experience with that. So we took the two ideas of having a one-of-a-kind museum and place that produces bobbleheads and combine those to make the Hall of Fame and museum.
Going back into the history of it, they started them off, like you said, paper mache and then ceramic, but when they became being made in plastic, then it kind of changed the game.
Yeah, so they've been made out of some different materials, like you mentioned. Plastic, a lot of the non-sports ones are made out of plastic. Today they're made out of a material called polyresin, which is almost like a granite material.
Okay.
So really high quality, and fans just love them. They line up at the Ice Hogs game, hours before the game even starts. They're, at the Rivets game, whenever a bobblehead's given away, people just clamor for it. It's been the #1 sports, promotion since really they first gave one away, which was 1999.
Well, you were talking about some sports giveaways. I have the Fred VanVleet one that came out at an Ice Hogs game, and you have, Fred's bobblehead here. There's a lot of collection here with local ties. You've got a nice little Ice Hogs collection. You've got a little Peach here, you've got Fred. There's so many different things, and there's something for everybody. As I was walking through here, every collector, hobbyist, like a walk down memory lane. I was looking at some Scooby-Doo ones back there, and a whole Game of Thrones collection. How did that come about?
Yeah, so there really is something for everybody. There's, just a wide variety, all age groups. Young kids see bobbleheads that their grandparents might not even know who the person or character is, and then the other way around, where the kid doesn't have any clue who Howdy Doody is, but then they can have that conversation and talk to him about it. But the Game of Thrones is a fun collection. A lot of people really enjoy those. That series that you're talking about is a crossover between Major League Baseball and Game of Thrones. So
it's like, and what conference room are they sitting in? They're like, let's do this. We're gonna make these, and we're gonna put them on the Iron Throne, and then we're gonna make bobbleheads.
Yes, yeah. So sometimes we're involved in that discussion. Other times we're just sort of the recipient of the bobbleheads. Or we offer them for sale on our website. But yeah, we're coming up with new ideas all the time. The Game of Thrones ones was one that MLB and the manufacturer had come to, came up with the idea, and they have been really popular. So
well, it's mixing two
really
American
popular things,
pastimes/favorites. Talk about a little bit. So say I want a bobblehead of my coworker. What about my dog? Can I order them through you?
Yep, we have a bobblehead of our dog that we had produced, so yes.
Okay, good. I'm glad you said that, because I didn't want to be like the one weirdo that wants a bobblehead of their dog.
We get a lot of requests for bobbleheads of dogs. On our website, we have all the different options. You can either pick like a pre-made body, or you can do something completely customized.
Okay.
And we do dogs, people, couples, for weddings. It's a great idea. Yep.
That'd be a great cake topper.
Yes. Yep. So we get a lot of that, and then we do a lot of the special edition bobbleheads, and like the Fred VanVleet Championship bobblehead that we have on our website, or some of those other fun ones.
There's even vendors. I saw like a Miller Park beer vendor. There's so many fun things that I wouldn't even have thought, hey, let's make a bobblehead, but that's kind of what people do. What about donations? Do you take donations?
Yep, so we get bobbleheads brought into the museum and sent in almost on a daily basis. We're continually expanding the collection. Right now we're at about 6,500 unique bobbleheads on display here,
Yeah.
and even more off-site, and we're continually going to be rotating things in and out and seeing, expansion plans and things of that nature. But yeah, we're always looking for new bobbleheads, especially ones that we don't have.
It's got to be fun when a box comes in and you're like, what's in there? I don't know what it is.
Yeah, we've gotten some really cool donations. One of the earliest acquisitions that we made was some of the really old bobbleheads from a gentleman in Rockford who saw our story. He couldn't give them away, but he sold it to us at a really great price just so we could have them at the museum.
Oh,
so
how
that's,
nice.
Some of the vintage bobbleheads that we have here from the 60s actually came from Rockford.
Well, that's awesome, and then they live on. Instead of just being on somebody's dusty shelf, you can come here and enjoy them. I just want to walk around, so we're gonna stop this right now, and we're gonna take a nice little tour of the National Hall of Fame, or Bobblehead Hall of Fame and Museum. What's your website?
It's bobbleheadhall.com.
Okay, go check it out, bobbleheadhall.com.
Thanks, Michelle. Definitely sounds like they have a bobblehead for everyone there. Up next this year, we celebrate the centennial of women's right to vote. Mary and Rhonda are here to tell us all about the kickoff for this year's events. And later, we'll learn about Orange Theory's Transformation Challenge. We'll be right back after a quick look at the weather.